Yeah, so basically from this point forward, the plan is just to put a kitten at the beginning of every single video and then put a kitten in every single thumbnail to increase activity and to increase engagement. So far it's been working not too great, but we're gonna keep it going for now and see how it goes.
Hi, your total is $14.65.
Can I use Apple Pay?
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
In a bucket of water. It's kind of a messed up study, but they do messed up studies on rats all the time. But essentially what they do is they drop a live rat into a bucket of water, and then they waited until the rat died and timed and waited and see how long, a rat would die in a bucket of water. So they probably took 10 rats, 10 mice, threw them in buckets of water, took an average, and I think they said the average was about 20 minutes that a mouse or a rat, whatever you want to call it, would be in that bucket of water before it would drown to death or it would become exhausted and it would end up succumbing and dying. Then what they ended up doing after that was they did the same exact thing, except for after about 6 or 7 minutes, they would pull the rat out or the mouse out, and they would let it rest for about 5 minutes, and then they would put it back in the water. Now the results they found after that is almost every single mouse, after they returned it back into the water after letting it come out and rest for 5 minutes, was that the mice or the mouse or the rat, whatever the hell you want to call it, would end up living between 24 and 48 hours after they returned it back into the water. So it really kind of brings you back, to me anyway, it resonates in a way of just having faith that it will work out in the end. I think a lot of people are too afraid to push themselves to their actual limit because your brain's going to tell you to stop before you actually have to stop. You're a lot stronger than your brain's going to tell you are. Your brain's going to tell you to give up a lot before your body's actually going to give in. And obviously that's built in, like your brain, when it's in pain, is going to call out to your body and to yourself to fix it. Like it's all built into what it's going to do. But when you spend so long messing with the chemicals in your brain and what's going on in your brain, when you start trying to reverse that and bring it back to where it's supposed to be, your brain's going to go crazy and it's going to freak out. And it's going to tell you that something's wrong, and it's going to tell you that everything's going wrong if, you're taking strong enough substances, and it gets to a bad enough point. And me, even right now, I'm weaning off of substances, and I'm really not on like the strongest substances either, and with my time and keep my mind busy. And a lot of it is just accepting the fact that you're going to be depressed and you're going to be sad for a little bit, and you got to just keep yourself busy. Music, I think, is one of the biggest ways to boost your dopamine. Find little ways to boost your dopamine. Exercise and music are the easiest ones for me. When I'm starting to feel really down or really in those moments where like I just don't want to do it anymore, or reading too. But sometimes reading, if you have too much anxiety or too much angst, you're not gonna be able to sit down and read like that. So going for a walk for me and then listening to music are the two things that will release that dopamine and that give you a little charge again to keep doing this and like remind yourself why you're doing it. That's why this kind of helps me too, because it is therapeutic and it also gives me something to do on these days that I have off when I'm trying to weed myself down off of these. In free time, I think mentally I'm in my head too much. I'd rather be at work and depressed and anxious than just sitting around here and just trying to like do it on my own. We'll see though. I haven't totally made up my mind or my decision yet. But as far as today went, I just felt too angsty and restless. But we'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm just going to take it from here. Again, I don't have a lot to say today. I just wanted to say it could really always be worse. And I think that's the number one thing to remember when you're in situations like this and when you're going through tough situations or hard times. Like everything is perception, and it could always be worse. You could always be drowning in a bucket, literally, or even to faith. Honestly, I think that's the pillar of everything. Whatever you're going through, whether it's a mental illness, whether it's addiction, depression, anxiety, I think at the bottom line it comes down to you have to have faith in something, and that faith in something has to be something greater than just yourself. Whether it's God. I think right now a lot of young people are pushed away from organized religion, which to me is disappointing and I think is a negative thing for our society because while there is negative aspects about religion and organized religion and Christianity in general. I think for the most part, Christianity is a good thing. And, you know, our roots in this country was founded on the identity of Christianity and the morals and ethics of Christianity. So, you know, and what Jesus believed in are just basic moral things that every human being should follow and go by. So I think the kind of modern day assessment of, you know, Christianity is kind of like outdated, and, you know, it's less and less prevalent than it used to be. There's more atheists more now than there ever used to be. I don't know why I can't talk today. But essentially, I think people just need to have more faith, especially when they're going through crises like this. You have to put your hands in, or put your faith in somebody else's hands, and give your life up sometimes to God to help let something in and I don't know. I can't even say what I'm trying to say, but sometimes your life can just become too much for you to handle. And sometimes it's okay to just take a step back and let something else work in your life, and maybe it'll work for your favor.